Today we're gonna continue through the journey through the Medusa album by Trapeze. If you haven't seen the previous episode where I did the first half of the album, you can find the link here somewhere. Haven't learned it yet, and also in the description down below. Okay, let's continue with Touch My Life. I think this has got to be my favorite of the album. I think it's a real cool riff and the vocals are awesome. So let's go. The opening riff, or the main riff of the song, is once again based around those kind of second inversion major chords. So start with an open E string, and then you do the move, we'll call it, and that's the 4th fret on the E string, and then 2nd fret on the A and D string. You slide up to it, let it ring, and then mute everything and play open E string, and then you do the same move but 1 string set down. So that's also 4th and 2nd fret. And then you go to open E string again, just quickly, and 3rd fret on the G string, on the E string, and for a G note, and then open D string, and the low E string again on 3rd fret. So the whole lick is, and land on the E string, on the open E. So real slow. I love that riff. I don't know if you could see it properly, but I think you'll get it. Sometimes I think he plays it like that. He does sort of that bend, not a big bend, but kind of just kind of a little blues bend. Yeah, that's the main riff part. The kind of chorus part, I guess. The guitarist, once again I can't remember his name, I think Mel Galley, but I might be wrong. He plays just pretty much E minor, but probably E power chord just, or G power chord, A power chord, G power chord. I think that's that's what he plays. The reason that it sounds very different is because underneath that Glenn Hughes plays E, D, where's my brain? C sharp and D again, and maybe it plays low G there too. So the chords become kind of inverted. So it's to be more precise. It's E to G with D in the bass. You could just play it like a bar chord, but not play the E string. To an A chord with C sharp in the bass. But as I said, I think the guitar player just plays like power chords basically, or kind of extra beefy power chords. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, of course it plays kind of one of those moves. E, G, A, and then maybe just the E note on the second fret on the D string to the G note on the third fret on the E string. Real slow. Something like that, I think. After that, just back to the riff and verse, chorus, you know, the usual suspects in songwriting parts. So let's move on. So about the next track, Seafull. Most of it is just plain old cowboy chords. It's easy to pick out, and I will leave the full chord chart in a comment down below, so you can just copy and print it out or whatever you want, or just refer to it there and learn it. I will show you a couple of more specific moves here, however. There are a couple of special chords that might not be too obvious, and there are also a few chords that go by a bit quicker or in a different rhythm that I'll just show you what I mean with the chord charts, because say the first couple of chords, there is E minor and then there's a quick D before the C comes. So that's what I mean by the small D instead of the capital letters. So that's the way to play it. Also for the C chord, I use the ring finger here to press down on the E string, just to thicken up the chord. It sounds like he does that too. So that's basically what I mean whenever there's a small letter next to the other chords. The next thing I want to talk about is a bit later, and still in the intro, but there's a part where it goes to A minor, then B minor, I think, add 11 over A. So that's kind of a unique chord, but it's real easy to play on guitar. You just grab the A minor and move it up 2 frets. That's the lettering is more complicated than the chord itself. And then the next chord is C over A, and well, I guess it's actually C. No, that's the E on top is just the third, so that's C over A. So it's A minor, B minor 11 over A to C over A, back to the B minor 11 over A, and that's it for that part. Then I want to talk about the chorus a bit quicker. It goes like this. So the first chord is of course just a regular E minor, nothing fancy there. Next chord is F major 7, which we have used before in this song, but might as well talk about it here, because you could play it in a couple of different ways, but I find it easiest to play it like this. We got the thumb on the first fret of E string, and then the ring finger and pink finger on the third fret, the A and D string, the second finger, middle finger on the G string, second fret, the index finger on the first fret of the B string, and then you leave the open E string down at the bottom there. that's a good way to play that F major 7 chord. The next chord is D over F sharp. You might be familiar with that chord. It's just D with the third in the bass. So that's actually that's another way to play that the move we talked about before. It's just D with the third in the bass. Next part is it just plays the E and F notes on the D string here, on the 2nd and 3rd fret. Just go in between those, and sometimes I think it picks like every other note. Another time later in the song I just think he picks the first and then continues to hammer on and pull off. So you could play that a couple of different ways. Next part is just the kind of chugging on the F chord, F major 7, A minor, yeah, to the another one of those chugging parts on F, and it ends with E sus to E major. So that's the E sus chord is just the 2nd fret on A string, D string, and G string, and the other strings are open. Then you let go of the pinky finger and add the index finger back to the regular E major chord. So that's basically it. I think the rest is very easy to figure out when you have the chords. So as I said, I'll leave it as a pinned comment or something down below here so you can check it out. Okay, let's move on to Makes You Wanna Cry. It's a real cool riff in drop D tuning. So what you do is, if you're not aware, you take the E string and you drop it down to D. That makes an octave here, and it's real cool. Really heavy tuning to use. So the riff is real cool, real funky, real heavy. So it's open now D string. I'm gonna call it D string from now on, I guess. It's a hit that low D and 3rd fret on the A string then, and you mute the ringing D string there. Then 3rd fret on the low string and the 5th fret on the A string. So it's, you gotta play with a certain bounce to it. You can't play like that's just lame. So you gotta play with some bounce. So you mute in between the notes and you kind of hit it a bit harder with your right hand. So 0, 3, 3, 5. And then the second part of the riff. And that's just 3rd fret on the A string to the 2nd fret on the A string to the open A string very quickly, because then you hit the low the 3rd fret on the low D string there. So the entire riff. So I just played those last 2 notes. I play in one upwards motion. You could play it like down pick both, or do it in 2 separate motions, but I just prefer to I think it's a real kind of funky vibe to play it like that. I don't know how the guitars here played it, but I think pretty much like that. So real slow. like that. So the chorus part is in A. It's something like this. So that's just a power chord. Open A string, second fret on the D and G string, and then you hit the D string on the 4th fret with the ring finger, and the upstroke lands on the high A there, on the G string. I think it plays something like that. It's kind of hard to hear. There's a lot of bass lines happening and so on. So slow, that's the last chord is just a D chord there, so it plays. And then returns to the riff. That's really cool. No drum fill in that first gap, so it's just. That's real heavy. It's real cool. The chorus part goes like this. It's a D chord, F chord, G chord, back to the D. D chord, once again just same thing, and then there's a C, makes you wanna cry, B flat, and then back to riff. C again, yeah, that's the way to play it. And that, I think, is pretty much it for Makes You Wanna Cry. So for the last track of the album is of course the title track, Medusa. And once again I'm gonna show how crappy of a finger picker I am. This is a really hard riff to play. At least if you play it the way I play it, which I think it's probably how I played it on the record, but I'm not sure, to be honest. And well, if it wasn't for the requests, the kind requests that I got, I probably wouldn't teach it because I don't think I played that well. So yeah, you just have to make do with what I got here. So the riff goes like. Like that. That was actually pretty much the best one that I played. As I said, it's a hard riff because there's finger picking, which is my arch enemy, my nemesis, and there's also a bent note in the first chord. So it's really strange to play that one. So the grip is sort of a F major 7 something chord, but it's just the 13th fret on the E string. It's on the G string, it's the 14th fret, but you bend it up to the note on the 16th fret there. So that's and then it's the open B and E string as well. So it's you pluck the fretted notes at the same time and bend. I do this really weirdly, but I'll show you how to do it here. The first finger frets the F, and then with these two fingers, middle two fingers, you bend. And it's real awkward bending technique that way, but I don't know how else he would play it. Because you can't play with just one finger. I think that's... I can do it at least. Maybe he could do it. But yeah, you just gotta experiment and find some angle on the fingers that works for you. It's bizarre. I mean, it doesn't sound that strange, except that bent strings on acoustic guitars is not something that you usually hear, except for, you know, the kind of Wish You Were Here solo or something like that. But yeah, anyways, so you bend it up, then the next is just you let it down, just play it the same notes fretted. So it's the 13th fret on the E string, the 14th fret on the G string, and open B and E strings. And then it's an E minor chord that's played on 12th fret on the E string, 12th fret on the G string, and then the same open B and E chords that the open B and E strings that I keep ringing through the entire lick here. And then you move down to 11th fret on the G string, but everything else remains the same. So the chords are the bent, the released bend, then, and that's pretty much how I think he plays it. I mean, this could probably be some amalgamation of several parts that is recorded. That could be the case, but I'm not sure. Something like that, yeah. Listening to it again, I think he plays it a bit different, just a finger pick in the right hand. It keeps playing that bass notes a lot more than I played in the beginning there. So I think it's more like I think it's played like that. So just keep beating on that low string and then play up and down pretty much with the other finger. So that's thumb on the E string. So it's E string, then G string, thumb, B string, thumb, E string, and back again. So that, I think that's what he plays. Yeah. I'm not a finger picker. I'm gonna say it again. Not a finger picker. However, I think I can at least show you what I think he does. Let's continue with the song here. So, this awesome riff that kicks in is played like this. I think. It's such a cool riff. So it starts with open E string, and then you take the second fret and bend it pretty much a whole step, and then you move over to the D string and the second fret. So that's kind of a hard maneuver. You saw me struggling with it at least once there. And after that, I'm not really sure how he plays it. I think he plays actually an open A string and does one of those kind of hammer slide things that I showed you before. It's either that or just some pretty much just slide up to 5th fret on the A string, 5th, and then hit the 4th and the 5th fret. Same thing again, and again, and the low G on the E string on 3rd fret. So the entire riff is very slow here. on in the song, there's the version of this riff that is the same notes, but just cut up a bit, so it's played. So that's, yeah, as I said, same notes, just cut the middle part. So the, I guess, kind of chorus part, they go to A, just A, G, and E power chords. That is open E string, 3rd fret on the G string, on the E string, I mean, and then 2nd fret on the D string. So just same thing again. You do that twice, then you play a C power chord, and then D power chord, an E power chord, and the same thing, and the whole thing again. I think you kind of do the build-up thing there. Then there's a solo, and a cool part comes in here after the solo. So you have the F in the bass here, and you play an E on the D string here. So it's 1st fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the D string, and you always return to the F in between the notes here. So that's just 2nd fret, open D string, 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret A string. And kind of chug on E there. So really slow here. After that, it goes back to the intro acoustic part. The ending part, they chug on the F chord and the E chord, E minor I think, and F major. And after that, a whole lot of chugging going on. You return to the main riff here. The long version. And that's pretty much it for the whole of Medusa. That's all the riffs from the whole album. If I missed anything, I'm real sorry, and you have to let me know, and I'll make another video on it. But we'll see if I can get around to do some of the solos, at least in this way, perhaps just sitting, listening to, going through the solos, maybe not learning it note for notes and have to remember everything, because that takes some time. But I could probably do it this way and just go through them. But anyways, thank you so much for the suggestion, and thanks so much for watching as well. I'll see you next time. Bye.